So what I'm doing here is I'm finally getting the parts in for this stuff. I got my upper ball joints, and I got my bushings, nylon bushings. So what sucks about these upper control arms is these things are, okay, but what sucks about these upper control arms is the threads are almost not even there. So this is just how they are. If you have threads that look like they're all stripped out, that's basically how they come, okay? Now, I've had issues with these upper ball joints before. When I had my 69 Charger just on the road, I went to the DMV, and I had to go and do the paperwork and stuff. I was pulling into the parking lot, and for some reason the DMV had like a 2-inch little bump in the entrance, and I was crossing a car, so I kind of like gave it some gas, and I hit that thing really hard, and one of these ball joints just fell right out. So when I parked my Charger, I went and inspected, and I saw that the ball joint is just moving around. So of course, I drove it home, and then I had to go look for a new upper control arm. So these threads, like no joke, that's what they're supposed to look like. Okay? They look like they're gone, but that's what they're supposed to look like. So I had an issue with one of these upper control arms, and this one was the replacement, but it's just a little too rusty for me. I hit it with a punch and it just went right through. So I can't use that one. So when I backed it off, it was hard to get out, so I used the gun, and I bought the socket and everything for it, and it spun too much when I was trying to take it all the way out, so I wiped the threads out on the very top. But it doesn't quite matter because these things don't really have threads at the very top anyway, so I'm still biting into the threads. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put some spot welds in here. Basically, these upper control arms, I don't plan on using a second time. When these ball joints go bad, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and buy new ones. I'm using them now, but they're readily available, and they're a little expensive, but I think this is kind of like the last hurrah. We'll see. I'll put spot welds in. I just think it's going to be hard to put new ones in after I spot weld it. But I'm not going to drive this thing the way it is. I just know it too well. I'd rather just put spot welds in it. Honestly, this is like a weak spot in Chrysler, okay? Chrysler had the unibody, so the suspension is just not as good as Chevy or any of the body-on-frame cars. GM got the competition was Oldsmobile, Buick, Pontiac, Chevrolet, and they all had better suspension. Like, this is why Chevy guys laugh at us, okay? Honestly, the upper control arms right here. But at the same time, it ain't that bad. I don't want to go with tubular. Something about me just can't do the tubular thing. I just don't want to do it. I know it's a good option for some people, but I just don't want to do it. I do have the nylon bushings. So if we're talking about suspension here, Chevy has their center link in front. Okay, so it sits in front on a Chevy, and on Chrysler it sits behind. So you're not going to have as good a handling. Besides the fact that they have you could say a better suspension than us. I actually like the torsion bar suspension, but they have a spring suspension, right? So if you have the link in front, you can really go into the turns and corner, and it's sharp, and it's really nice, and you can hold it and get the G-force out of the turn and stuff like that. And with it sitting behind, it's going to be just a really nice ride. So Chrysler has a nice ride. It has it behind. So the suspension is kind of that's the weak point. The sad thing is, even with the center link, with the suspension I have stock, the Magnum block or the Magnum pan fits. So they could have invented that Magnum pan like in the 60s, and it would have fit just fine with a rear sump and everything. And it just kind of sucks that they didn't do that. So that would have been nice if we would have had a rear sump all the way back then, but nope, didn't have it. If you want to do this yourself, you don't know how to do it, it's really easy. This is super, super simple. Just literally just take a hammer, that's all you need, and knock the old ones out. And then all you got to do is take a hammer and knock a new one in. It's not a big deal at all. So anyway, I'm going to put some spot welds on here. And that's just going to be a little bit of insurance. And like I say, I don't really plan on using these a second time. So, but I think it only needs 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's about all you need. Okay, so let me show you what I got going on here. So first of all, I got this all done. Painted black, looks okay. And I got the welds on this one right here. Got 4 welds on it. I might be able to use this one again. We'll see if I can get those welds off or not. And everything is good. I got the cam bolts in. Got it all painted up. I got new upper and lower ball joints. And then I got my center link in. It's almost done. I'm just waiting for the parts to put the tie rods together. I don't have everything I need yet. Anyway, so this is working fine. I ended up putting it in backwards. When I looked at the tapers on both the idler and the pitman, the tapers looked the same. One was bored in a little longer, but I couldn't really figure out, just with my little measuring tools here, I couldn't see that it was different taper, and the parts I had fit good in it. So I had it flipped around the right way, and it fit okay, but I figured that when the engine's shaking around and stuff, it would end up rubbing, because it was only like like a 16th or an 18th of an inch or something like that, or an 1/8 of an inch before it was hitting. So I figured with the engine moving back around, I'll try putting it in backwards. And if it tears that boot up or something like that when I'm driving it, maybe I'll go back to the right orientation. But it seemed to me that it should work fine. And also, these pans, it's already bent, so if you're going to put one of these pans on your car, I would definitely try to get one that's original, because this is an aftermarket one, and it's not as good. It's simply just not as good. It's not as thick, not as strong. So, so basically, you can see that what sucks here, just for Mopar, is that they could have had this pan back in the 60s. So we've had a center sump for forever. We didn't have to have one, which kind of sucked. We had plenty of room. So the B bodies in the 60s have the small size for the pitman arm, and they're kind of more expensive. I got one from Moog. It was like $78. If I had the other one, the larger size, it would have been like, same as you could get a cheap one from Rock Auto for like $10, So if you're upgrading or if you're replacing, you probably can't even find one of these anymore, but it's okay to go to the larger size, because I think all the boxes are pretty much the same thing. I know in my Charger they gave me one from a Dart and it fit fine. And then what sucks about this setup, the only thing that sucks about it, is I'm not going to be able to go to a quick ratio steering, because all the quick ratio really is it's going to be a longer pitman arm. So the pitman arm will go out a few more inches. So if the pitman arm is out more, then it takes less turns of the wheel to turn it all the way this way. Just like if it was like really short, it'd take a lot of turns, to get it all the way. So basically, that kind of sucks that I can't go to a quick ratio. But I don't really think it matters too much. So the quick ratio would bring it up to like, here or something like that. So in the original pan, that's fine. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think this box is in good shape, so I think I'm making a good point here of leaving it in, and we'll see. Well, that's kind of what I got going on here. I even have one of the original 3-point castle nuts on there. So the cool thing about this is all really cheap. All these parts are dirt cheap on Rock Auto. I try to get one that's a little more expensive when I buy a part, but if you can't afford it, you know, it's still a good part. And like you can rebuild your front end for like, you know, all these little parts are only like 10, 15 bucks each. So next what I gotta do is I have my exhaust I want to run. So I don't want to start this thing up until I have some exhaust on it. So we'll see what happens. I'm just going to build some quick exhaust and put a muffler on it before I fire it up. And I'm getting closer to that day. I still don't have a whole lot of time or a whole lot of money to work on it, but I'm getting it all done. Here's this side. So I need brakes. So pretty soon here I'll buy all my brake stuff. But it's pretty cool. We got this whole thing rebuilt. Everything's nylon. I'm just going through everything. So that's one cool thing about working on a car now in my life is I can go through the whole car and fix it up. Or when I was younger, you know, I just like let it ride because I didn't know how to work on all of it. But yeah, so this is pretty cool. It should be going pretty good. I got some shocks coming, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll definitely post again when I got the brakes going and I get the exhaust going, and it should be time to fire it up. Okay, well, I'll see you guys later.